pack of tickets to the St. Paul Ice Fishing and Winter Sports Show, December 6th through the 8th at the St. Paul River Center. Shop the season's best deals, meet the pros, and register for a chance to win the ultimate ice fishing giveaway. Head to KFAN.com. Keyword contest to enter today. That's KFAN.com. Keyword contest.
Legendary Mark Rosen is with us. I imagine you'll be up at Cold Spring sometime, staying in that rustic cabin, doing a little ice fishing yourself. You like ice fishing, right?
I actually do. I did it up in...
Just say, no, I would never go ice fishing.
I've done it a couple times, only when we did the going to the lake.
And it does nothing for you, right?
No. Yeah. No. I mean, if you look at some of these, as we all know...
Are you against ice fishing?
Not at all.
Okay.
I mean, especially how exotic some of these fish houses are. This is not like drilling a hole like the Walter Matthau, Jack Lemmon odd couple.
Not?
Some of these homes that they have, it's like, well, yeah, you can sit there and watch TV, and they got a heater, and you got your favorite beverage, and grill up a couple of burgers or something on a Weber. And
back in my Haight-Ashbury days, we had a fish house out on Forest Lake just as a place to go drink beer.
Oh, sure.
We didn't do much fishing.
No,
I never did.
I mean, it's laborious. Let's just leave it at that.
It was last year we were talking about, and I got ripped by people.
Mm-hmm.
What happens more frequently than you think? People losing their cell phones down the ice fishing hole.
Absolutely.
Well, how?
Because
Don't have your phone over the top of the ice fishing hole, and it won't fall down in there. People, oh no, it happens all the time. People, I think, were defending themselves because they're going, yeah, I'm one of those dopes that let it fall down the ice fishing hole, and I got to defend myself. Just don't hold it over the ice fishing hole, and it won't fall down in there.
Don't apply common sense to what happens. I mean, it does happen. People drop their cell phones everywhere. They drop it into the toilet. They drop it into a bathtub. They'll drop it into a lake. And they forget about bringing their phone. We're creatures of habit, and we have it with us, almost all the time. So it's bound. Bad things are bound to happen.
It's not going to happen to me. Here, I'll give you a prime example.
All right. I hope it doesn't.
I generally shower, but I occasionally like to soak in a hot bathtub. I don't know if you do. I love soaking in a hot tub.
I do if we have a big tub.
The other day, it was a couple of weeks ago now, I went out to play golf, and it was cool outside. It was pretty cold. And I walked the entire 18 holes, and my bones were creaking, and I wanted to soak them. Sure. I also wanted to scroll through the phone while I'm in the bathtub.
Oh, boy.
I held that phone as tightly as I possibly could so that I wouldn't drop it in the bathtub and ruin my phone.
Well, you were thinking about it ahead of time, but it doesn't mean that an accident couldn't happen. And if it does, more times than not, I'm just saying that most of these phones now can survive a brief encounter with the water.
And yes, somebody said, has Dan ever ice fished? Yes, I have. Now, I didn't do it often. Like I say, my buddies would. When we lived in Forest Lake, we had an ice fish house. It was just a place to smoke dope and drink beer, right? Because we couldn't at home. We're all 16, 17 years old. The parents aren't going to allow it. So it was a place for us to hang out.
Yeah, sort of a tree house.
And some of the guys in our running group, our running buddies, they would ice fish. I've dropped a line in before, but it doesn't do anything for me.
Well, you just mostly sit there and
they're just there to drink beer and to smoke dope. Now, I have to ask you this question.
All right.
The two main principals in the Wolves trade, Julius Randle and who's the other player?
DiVincenzo.
You said it right this time. Congratulations.
Well, I've heard it both ways of the announcers.
It's not both ways. It's because I've had several people say, will you tell Rosen it's DiVincenzo?
I will, but I've also heard the announcer say DiVincenzo.
Then the announcer needs to be told that it's wrong. Right. But I just wanted to get that, because a lot of people wanted me to make sure that you were pronouncing it correctly.
All right, I'll pronounce it correctly. DiVincenzo. I like saying that.
DiVincenzo.
Yeah. Rolls off your tongue.
Your Vikings, odd game.
Understatement, yeah.
If you looked at the numbers, and we took a look at them yesterday, the team statistics.
Right.
Time of possession, amount of offensive plays. Every single offensive number glaringly in favor of the soon-to-be big game world champion Minnesota Vikings, yet they only won 12-7 with four field goals by who I'm now declaring the greatest kicker in Vikings history is John Parker.
Now it's just Parker Romo.
He is going to be the greatest kicker in Vikings history.
Well, the
Reichert kick isn't going to get his job
unemployed.
back.
Yeah, he'll be unemployed as soon as Reichert comes back. I don't care if he makes 16 straight field goals. He's not keeping the job.
You don't think so?
I know so.
Why do you know that?
Because Reichert is being paid to be the kicker this year, and he hasn't missed. Well, he did when he got hurt.
You know that he's had that's been a lingering issue.
I understand that, but I don't think they're going to. I doubt if they're going to keep two kickers on their team.
What if Parker Roma doesn't miss?
Well,
yeah. What if he doesn't?
I hope he doesn't.
Would you rather have the guy that never misses perfectly healthy, or the guy that's had a nagging?
Well, you want a healthy Will Reichert, obviously, but it is he may not be back. That's the thing. I mean, you talk about, the 4-week window where the long snapper had surgery on his hand, DePaulo, and Reichert has had this injury before, and we'll see in a couple of weeks. But yes, if he's healthy enough, he's going to kick again. That's just, you're not going to lose your job because you got hurt, especially when you've been kicking as well as he has. But yeah, it's great to see. I mean, it was what a moment. First NFL game, and he squeezed that one short one in, and you got that. But you knew it was going to be didn't expect it to be like that. But because Reichert, hasn't had many games where he's
Wally Pipp lost his job.
Well, he did.
He was playing well. There was nothing wrong with Wally Pipp.
Well,
he got hurt, couldn't play.
Right.
Next thing you know, Lou Gehrig. So it's like,
what happened to that?
I don't think we do anything with John Parker Roma.
But getting back to the game itself is, I chart the game all the time, and I just can't. I'm looking at the second quarter, and the Vikings had a 16-play drive. They started on their own 24-yard line. A lot of short passes to Hawkinson, a lot of runs by Aaron Jones. And, of course, eventually they got to a second and goal in the 6, and pretty much all those interceptions were thrown in the red zone.
Not pretty much all of them were. Well, they were all intended for Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, and it was one of those moments you're watching it and you go, I can't believe it's happening. Once, twice, three. He actually had a fourth one picked, but there was offsetting penalties, so that one was called back.
Too high safety. It worked.
Yeah.
It did. It kept JJ from well below his
right.
He averages 102.3 yards per game. That's his average since 2022. Right. He had 48 yards. He only had 5 catches, but it was at the expense of the Jaguars. Basically said somebody else is going to have to beat us because we're not going to let Justin Jefferson beat us. We go back, and Tenby and I talked about this again today. It was last week we played a soundbite in which they asked Doug Peterson, why is Sam Darnold so good? Right. And his response was Justin Jefferson. Yeah. And so I think that was a clue right there that they were going to say, it's the old pick your poison. And the poison we've picked is Hawkinson, Addison, Aaron Jones, Ali. If you can beat us with those guys,
go for it.
More power to you. But we're not going to let Justin Jefferson. He's had more 20-plus yard plays, 71. Since 2022, that's more than any other player in the league that's non-quarterback, those explosive plays. And, again, what the head coach said yesterday, and I do believe it to be true, we'll never know, but if we don't have the interceptions, that game might have been more like a 20, 28, 34, 35. Yeah. But again, we don't know. There's no way of knowing for sure. But I don't know if other teams will do this or not.
Well, it's a copycat league, but it's easier said than done.
But it worked other than the interceptions. And so to me, it's going to be on Sam Darnold. Because I think other teams might say, like, if you're the Titans, you're a terrible team, terrible city, terrible. You're 2-7, are they? Yeah. So what are they going to do? They're probably going to go, that looks like it works pretty good. Let's see if it works for us. Now, maybe they might approach it a different way. I don't know. And then we'll have to see, can Sam Darnold get away from what he's been doing? It seems more and more often he's throwing balls to the wrong people at the wrong time.
The wrong time in particular. I mean, he was very good at times on Sunday. Tight windows, throwing the ball to Hawkinson, making good decisions with his legs most of the time, getting out of the pocket and running for a first down. I wouldn't say scrambling, but running for a first down. And as the late Hank Stram would say, matriculating down the field. Matriculating down the field. But when he got in the clutch time, that's where you have to execute. You have got to get 6 points. It was so maddening to watch this team because you knew Jacksonville could have stayed out there all day and all night and probably wouldn't have scored another touchdown. They got the little quarterback sneak, and that was it. Defense was barely broke a sweat. But this is not just, Darnold it's concerning because he hasn't been good for a while. He's been throwing a lot of picks, and bad ones. Starting with the Lions game here. And we just go, wait. You understand how, look at your guy. What happened Sunday night, Jared Goff. Their quarterbacks are going to throw interceptions. You got to dust yourself off and keep going. But some of the decision making and forcing the ball, and it wasn't like the ball was, I guess the first one to JJ was tipped. He was trying to run a quick pattern over the middle and got hit simultaneously, and the ball popped up in the air. But the other ones were in the other couple of games, the Colts game, the Lions game. He just hasn't been the same guy. It's up to him to kind of straighten things out. And I'm sure KOC has been in his head will be in his head all week. And he talked about his footwork and working on some different things. And Darnold knows more than anyone else.
Is the footwork stuff overrated? In other words, is the coach should calm down, just let him drop back and play football?
Yeah,
when they start doing this, it seems like KOC saying, with my offense, you have a certain amount, everything's timing, and maybe that's the way the league is played now. I don't know, but it seems like your feet have to be facing a certain direction at the exact moment the guy's making his cut. That sounds more difficult than it is. I don't know. Maybe
the top quarterbacks in the league can put the ball exactly where they need to put it. When there's a guy draped all over the wide receiver, I think there is something to be said about the fundamentals of what Darnold is not doing right now in certain situations is kind of creeping up on him. It's concerning, and fortunately for them, they're playing a not very good Tennessee team this week, and then who knows what they're going to get with the Bears a week from Sunday, given everything.
Awful.
Given what they'll
have
going
a new
through
coach by then.
Well, they have a new offensive coach today.
Well, yeah, but that's
I don't know.
That's the Chris Carter school of fall guys.
Yeah, what a mess.
Is it Eberflus?
Yeah, Eberflus is still there.
I think Eberflus will be gone by the time.
I don't know.
The Vikings.
I doubt it.
Play the Bears.
I think they would have made that call right now. Bet.
Hit it.
Bet.
You mull it over. I don't want to rush into any rash decisions. You think about our bet. I got a couple of other things I want to bounce off you.
I like to be on that bet.
Viking related.
Everybody likes
I don't think you can afford it, Tennessee. I want to bet $2.
Oh, no. Your
checking account's down to $65,000. I can't. I won't even allow you to make that.
Is it
bet.
really down to 65?
65. I'm not going to allow him to make that bet. I'm looking out for your children. We'll break and come back. More to get to with Mark Rosen here on the Fan.
Mark Rosen's appearance on the program is brought to you by your Greater Twin City Honda dealers. Hey, want to chime in on what's happening with your favorite KFAN program? Make your voice heard in the Bradshaw and Bryan text line. Let us know what you have to say by texting your message to 64686. That's 64686. Standard message and data rates apply.
Let me ask you a question, Mark Rosen.
Yes,
you had said earlier that you don't lose your job due to an injury. Do you know who Drew Bledsoe is?
When you're really good, I think I added.
Drew Bledsoe was injured.
He got hurt. Yeah, a guy named Tom Brady took over for him.
Brady took over.
Well, yeah.
It does happen.
Of course it happens. But I'm just saying when you draft someone like Will Reichert.
A 6th-round pick.
The best kicker in college football, and then he's been terrific for the Vikings.
Nagging injury.
Well, yeah, they're not going to bring him back until he's fully healthy.
Yeah, but then all of a sudden he gets injured week 3 next year.
No.
Nagging injury.
Well, then you call Parker Romo again.
Might not be available. Someone else is going to snatch him up.
He's going to get snatched.
Well,
he's 4 for 4. What's his field goal percentage?
100%.
There's no better field goal percentage in the history of the National Football League right now. There really
Good for
isn't.
him. It was a great moment for the young man.
Tennessee and I brought this up to Tennessee yesterday. We just talked about how the 3 interceptions that old Sam Darnold has an arm. Yeah,
you love to tweet that out.
And all 3 were intended for Justin Jefferson. If you'll remember earlier, I think it was either sometime during, training camp. Maybe it was during preseason. where JJ said, I just tell these guys,
throw the ball to me.
Throw the ball to me. It doesn't matter if I'm double covered. Do you think Sam is taking him literally then and going, well, you know what, I'm just going to, we're in the red zone. This is the go zone. This is where we're supposed to score, and I'm going to try to force this ball in there no matter what. Do you think, and I'm not even suggesting that's right or wrong, but do you think that might have something to do with this or not?
Well, I think the play is called for him, and then at the same time, if he's covered, if it was Jordan Addison, he may not try to squeeze it in there, although Addison made that tremendous catch, one-handed catch. Against the Colts. But I think, there's something psychologically saying, if it's a battle, JJ will come up with it. But he hasn't even been put in a position,
correct, on
most of those passes to make a catch. So, I do think there's some of that because you're trying to take advantage of arguably the best receiver in the game and try to hit it in a small window, and because he'll come up with the ball more times than not. But now when you put it in a position like that, you have zero chance.
Another question for you. Before the season started, I think you were insistent, amongst many other people, that Sam Darnold was going to be the starting quarterback. That's just the way it is. He's going to start. And he has.
Before JJ got hurt, you mean?
Yeah, even before.
Yeah, right.
Let me ask you a hypothetical question.
Sure.
If J.J. McCarthy were 100% healthy, do you think he would be quarterback in the Minnesota Vikings right now? Do you think he would take over for Sam Darnold? I think he would too.
I think it would have happened. I don't know how that process would have, without him starting a game. But I think at some point,
even when you're 7-2, we're 7-2.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
I mean, I think his play has definitely leveled off. I think the first 5 games, one thing, but. And, JJ, kind of observing and watching from the sideline hasn't hurt him at all. But I think had he been healthy, I think there certainly would have been a groundswell of opinions about that, not just from the fan base, media, and maybe even internally to say, I think it's time to let the kid go, let him go. I mean, based on what O'Connell was saying in training camp. And
if he hit certain benchmarks, he could even be the starter opening day.
Right. So, I do. I mean, I definitely think by now he would have been, if not the last couple of weeks, I don't think starting the Lions game, but I think after that, yes, I think he'd be the starting quarterback right now.
Yeah.
And that's something to look forward to.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you took the words out of my mouth. It is. Yep. It's because, and that's why, people insisted that, they are going to turn it over to JJ next year. And I was like, well, but what if Sam Darnold, especially the way he played in the first month, he was NFC Offensive Player of the Month. Let's say his penchant for throwing, they haven't, so you can't change it. But let's just say he hadn't been throwing these interceptions. You're still 6-2 or 7-2 by hook or by crook, but he hadn't been throwing a lot of interceptions. Do you think it would just be automatic giving it to J.J. McCarthy? If Darnold's playing at a level that he did that first month of the season, if he did that for an entire season, I would find it difficult to say, well, we're just going to cut you loose and go with, unless you have that much trust in McCarthy, unless you really believe he is going to be an elite franchise quarterback, I think the decision, unless something changes dramatically with Darnold in the rest of the season from the last few weeks, I don't think it'll be a tough decision now.
Yeah, Darnold made it real easy to have him keep the job. If JJ was healthy, I mean, you run off 5 straight wins and you're playing at that level and you're Offensive Player of the Month in the NFC, whatever you are, you're not going to bench him at that point. That would be ridiculous. But as soon as he kind of hit the skids a little bit here and looked like he's off his game, it certainly would have been a decision that, you heard, even heard last week. I mean, I don't think anyone's saying that they should be benching Darnold right now. I mean, I think there are times that you go, I think it's time to go to the bullpen. But, pro football coaches aren't like Major League Baseball managers. They don't go to the bullpen very often. You take your starting quarterback out and bring in your backup. It's got to be a little more glaring than that, unless it's an injury of some sort. So I think you heard KOC in the locker room after the game, and he was dropped an F-bomb or two, whatever it was, but he basically said, we all believe in you. You're our guy, and going forward here. So I don't think they're going to be changing quarterbacks anytime soon.
What do you think of the Lions now?
I think they won the Super Bowl Sunday night.
You do?
Yes.
You think they're going to be the big game world champions?
Yes.
Tennessee hit the
That. Oh no! I really believe
that.
You want to bet 10B?
Highly entertaining game, obviously, and Houston, smacked him in the mouth in the first half, and they had.
Did they ever?
Goff was off, and they had him reeling, and it was good to see that the Lions were going to have to be pushed against the wall.
23-7.
Yeah,
you don't come back. Not often do teams come back from a 23-7 deficit. You just don't. I mean, it happens, but it's very rare.
It's hard, I guess. Well, especially against a quality team.
Yeah.
But I really do believe that the way Detroit responded and coming back and the confidence, not that they were lacking it, I think they just punched their ticket, basically. I don't see anyone beating them in the NFC. I just don't. I mean, I know
even the Vikings?
No.
Packers?
No.
49ers? That's a pretty good club there. They got how many times did they say this on the Sunday night broadcast? They just love the phrase. They put the band back together.
Yeah.
They've got the band back together there,
I think they're clearly, Philadelphia's playing well again.
What about this Cardinals club?
They're fun. They're interesting.
Kyler Murray had the best day in the NFL.
I know, but they're not a threat.
Tennebee's a big Kyler Murray.
I know he is. He'll be
keep doubting him.
No, he's fun to watch. I think AFC is probably they have more quality teams. You look at the number of quality teams. Pittsburgh, Baltimore, they're playing each other this week. Buffalo plays Kansas City this week. What a matchup that is.
Here's the problem with that game.
And the Chargers have the best defense in the NFL.
Here's the problem with that game.
Which game? Buffalo, KC?
Buffalo is 3-0 against Kansas City in the last 3 regular season games.
I know.
0-3 in the postseason. Know when to hold them. Know when to fold them.
Yeah.
Let's give away a pair of tickets. Flop, Sweat, and Tears Tour. Tickets are flying off the shelves now, so get yours now. It's this Friday at the Rockwoods Comedy Club in... A lot of people are telling me it is Otsego.
It's Otsego.
I'm going with Otsego. I'm going to make sure we change the pronunciation of the city. It's in Otsego. 2 shows. There's a dinner show. That's early. I think a 7 o'clock start. I'll have to double check on that. The After Dark show, doors open because they have to clear everybody out. Then to clean off the tables, get everybody out. Then they're going to vacuum the place, clean it all up. Doors will open for the After Dark show at 8:30. Show starts at 9:30. We're giving away tickets right now for the After Dark show. If you don't win them now, you can go to rockwoodsmn.com to buy your tickets. It's Meat Sauce Common and Larry Mondello Guy this coming Friday night at Rockwoods. But be the 11th caller at 1-800-320-5326. If you're the 11th caller, you'll be a winner of Flop, Sweat, and Tears tickets from all of us here at the Fan. Metallica.
Join Corey Coe for Coors Light Hockey Night on Thursday, November 14th at Sunset Grill in Spring Lake Park. Watch Minnesota take on Montreal and play trivia for your chance to win a pair of sweet tickets to the game on January 9th against Colorado. Get all the details now at KFAN.com. Keyword calendar.
Winner of the comedy tickets tend to be was like a kid on Christmas morning. Pretty excited, I bet, huh?
The one yesterday said, "Hey, did I win the hockey tickets?"
When we gave away tickets to the comedy show at the Mudroom, those are the only 2 empty tables.
Really?
Why do people call when they hear giveaway and
then don't show up?
And just whatever, if you go, oh, I thought I was getting Vikings tickets, I don't want to go to the comedy show, give them to somebody else.
Right.
Just give them to somebody else if you don't want to go.
Don't accept them in the first place.
That's what I'm saying. If you when you call and you say, what did I win? Pair of tickets to see Flop, Sweat, and Tears. And you say, I'd rather start my hair on fire. Why don't you give them to the next caller? Just do that. If you're not going to show.
The right thing to do.
That's what I would do, but that's just me. You've changed.
What do you mean?
You're more bitter in your old age.
What are you talking about?
Well, I said, hey, NBA Cup starts, and you just go, nobody cares. It's terrible.
Well,
What's wrong with you we like the NBA Cup.
Do we? I mean, it's a rhetorical question. I wasn't even aware that it was starting tonight. I mean, I'm aware of the matchups. You got Klay Thompson returning to Golden State. That's a big deal. The Timberwolves are fortunately playing the Oswalds the next couple nights, the Portland Trailblazers. And,
that's a W.
Well, 2 in a row. They played back-to-back.
Well, but let me ask you this.
Well,
what if it's a copycat league? What if the Blazers employ the Eric Spoelstra strategy.
Good luck.
You saw how frustrated Ant was. Wouldn't even meet with the media. Bitter about what did he call it? Tended to be from Moana movie. What was it called?
Moana.
Moana.
The side
something
shift,
defense.
something shift.
Yeah.
Shape shift.
Well,
shape shift defense. He was frustrated. What if other teams start doing that and Ant becomes an ordinary player?
There are not many Eric Spoelstras in the league.
Well, the other teams just see what Eric did and they just copy what he did.
You don't have the personnel to probably pull it off.
Heat's not very good. Their personnel's not so great.
It wasn't just a question.
Buckets called it a skip game again. He didn't even show up to play.
No, he had general soreness. Actually, Spoelstra.
I think you might be in denial.
The offensive play that he ran, the out of bounds play, was one of the most creative plays I've ever seen to finish an NBA game. When they were down by 1, and they had Chris Finch his head was spinning. First of all, he admits he had the wrong personnel in there. Secondly, the play that Spoelstra ran, I can't even describe it. He ended up with freeing one of his guys. It was like a wide receiver just busting coverage and running free. And not only did he get the basket, but he got fouled, so he made the free throw. And then all of a sudden, the Wolves, they have to take a desperation shot. That was all messed up at the end of the game too, for 3 seconds to go. But it sounds
like you're criticizing the club.
It was self-criticism. Chris Finch admitted he got out-coached, basically. I mean, he had the wrong personnel in there. And I think it was the one time.
We'd be past that at this point. He's been coaching basketball his whole life. How do you make a blunder like that?
With personnel, I think more than, it just had the wrong. It happens. It just happens. And again, kudos to Eric Spoelstra. I don't know about, I know this thing's going on. It's not, I don't care about it. I just wasn't even aware that it started tonight. And it goes on. It's mostly for the players' benefit. They give away a trophy, and it's just something to add some interest in the middle of the season. Not even the middle of the season, early in the season.
Here's what the benefit is. The only reason they're doing it is because they knew what the dirty little secret that the basketball community denies. But you know it, I know it, Tennessee knows it, the Pope knows it. The players don't try in the beginning of the season. They put effort out. I'm not saying they don't try at all, but it's like they coast in this. It's early. The teams that are going to go to the playoffs know they're going to the, especially if you're in the East. If you're the Boston Celtics or the Indiana Pacers, do you really think you're going to have to worry about getting a top seed?
I think no. But I think when you watch.
So this is a way to get. That's why they did it. That's why they did it, because they want the players to say, "Hey, there's something. There's a trophy, and there's money for the winners.
There's money. They don't care about the trophy.
There's money for. Well, of course they care about the trophy.
Do they?
Well, that's what the guy from Major League Baseball said. Remember when the commissioner said it's just a chunk of metal?
Yeah.
And all the players were in uproar.
Well,
so what do you mean it's a chunk of metal?
I think that's different than winning the NBA championship or the Stanley Cup or something. We're getting the emeritus, whatever it's called, the
all right.
cup.
Okay.
I don't think that they're going to parade around. They're not going to have a parade for the winning team.
We should. Here, we've never had a parade. It's been years.
Yeah, so if they win the cup, then, I'll be the first to champion a parade. But I think it's just a matter of I don't. When you say they don't care, I saw the Denver-Dallas game the other night. Was it last night?
Did they go toe to toe?
Yeah, it was.
They actually tried.
Yes, they tried.
Okay.
And
that'll happen once in a while.
Well, it's more than once in a while. I think, and the Wolves were definitely trying the other night, especially as the game wore on. I'm not saying they go full bore at the beginning of the game, but they wanted to win that basketball game, and they, that's why Ant didn't talk to someone after, from the media. A rare time for him to choose not to discuss things after the game. But that's okay. It's early in the year, and biggest thing is trying to stay healthy. There's already a batch of injuries. With Chet Holmgren's out for a couple of months. Durant's been out. John Morant is hurt again. Embiid's coming back tonight, I think, for Philly for the first game this year. And I think he plays his old buddy, Karl Anthony Towns, in the Knicks tonight. So that's kind of interesting. But, yeah, I'm going to try to watch, the Wolves start at 9 o'clock tonight. Dallas is playing at Golden State tonight. Again, Klay Thompson's return to Golden State. That'll be entertaining, I would assume.
Will you watch that game?
I'll flip around a little bit. The Wolves should, they got back-to-back games, especially the way they finished the game the other night. I think that they better be burning up a little bit about the way they performed the other night against that Miami team, because the best teams don't lose games like that, and they did. So they got Portland the next 2 nights, and they go to Sacramento before they come back here against Phoenix on Sunday afternoon.
Lakers put up a banner in the rafters after winning the NBA Cup last year. Well, so somebody cares.
Yeah, that's good. I'm happy for him. I know.
Boy, you've changed.
No, it's just, come on. I mean, it's
there was a time when you would embrace something.
It was manufactured. It's manufactured, and that's fine. That's fine. I understand they're trying to create more interest, and they have all the divisions laid out. They have to explain it to people. If you're not a really hardcore fan, no idea what the pairings are or when they have to, how many. Is it a round robin when they play, and then who they play if they win? You just have to kind of follow it as it goes along, I guess, if you care that much about it.
Longtime Twins president Dave St. Peter announced today he's stepping down from that position. Your thoughts?
Well, I think it's been in the works for a while. Dave's been in the organization for a long, long time.
Did you know this, or it was in the works?
Didn't know exactly. I knew there was something going on.
You did?
Yeah, but I didn't know exactly. I mean, it's a weird vibe over there right now. Part of the
I had no idea. It caught me by surprise personally, but it did not you. It sounds like
not really. Yeah. And then
but you got your fingers on the pulse.
Well, and then Derek. Well, I know a few people involved with kind of their business world over there. Derek Falvey is moving into his position,
a dual role.
Yeah.
You know why? It saves them money.
Well, the other problem they have right now, and I know that
have one guy doing the two jobs. That's you save.
Speaking of money, they're not getting a dime from Major League. The new TV deal they have.
Cry me a river.
I'm just saying.
Oh, okay.
That this is where Major League Baseball's messed up, and they still have their haves and have-nots. I mean, why do they have a system that you're not getting any local television revenue by with MLB now running your operation basically? Because I don't even know how fans. I guess it's MLB Network this year. I don't even know.
I have no idea.
As far as watching the Twins, but it's a it's a tough sell. I mean, it just is. I mean, they're not going to do much, if anything, this offseason, the winter meetings, and I don't want to. They'll sign a player or two, but nothing that they're going to shake the foundation of what the baseball or hierarchy is going to be. You got another? Is there another Japanese player or someone on the market that he's going to go to the one of the 5-6 teams?
We could afford him if we wanted to.
Well, if they wanted to, but they're not going to do
no,
that.
That's the problem.
They're not, and when you don't get the television revenue, I'm just saying it's part of the business that they're in right now, and that's why they're trying to sell it. If they want to make that an excuse,
they can. If they don't,
no, I know, but it's their money.
They're getting out. I forced them out.
Yeah, you did force them out. I don't know. And then it sounds like the arbitration thing or what mediation is over. Now that's
what LaBelle thinks. LaBelle thinks and Sue Ann think I forced the Twins to sell the club.
I'm sure.
Well, they did. They said it in a podcast.
That you forced?
Yes.
Wow. They actually said that. I'm sure that's accurate.
Go listen to it.
No, I'm sure that's what the poll has.
I think that's what they finally did. They said
you forced.
We can't beat Common. It's been too much.
Too much.
So I don't know. Somebody else got moved up to GM. Somebody else had said.
Yeah, I haven't even heard of the guy.
I don't know who he is.
I have no idea. I mean, again, really, what I'm saying, what difference does it make? Because his hands are pretty much tied. He can't go out and get
no, that's for sure.
Players that he has on his list of that would help the team more than anyone else. And I think it's going to be interesting to see with the returning players, all of them who were hurt in one way or another last year. They're key players, either ineffective or hurt pretty much all year long, with Royce Lewis and Byron Buxton and Carlos Correa. The meat and potatoes of their lineup, and which was very good early in the year, and then they just went poof. I wanted to bring this up earlier and I forgot, but I want to backtrack to the Wolves for a second. Mm-hmm. Last year they were the best defensive team in pro basketball during the regular season, and they were Midland when it came to offense. They were I think something like 17th. So far this year, early sample size has been almost flip-flopped, where the defense hasn't been very good and the offense has been much better. And what's interesting, tell me if one has anything to do with the other. For years, everybody said, well, Big Meow can't play defense. He's a detriment on defense. The defense with the Wolves is bad. He's gone, and the defense is now mediocre. Do you think that everybody's favorite
punching bag, Karl Anthony Towns. Oh, he's a terrible defensive player. Maybe he wasn't as bad as people think.
Well, I don't know, because what I've read is the defense isn't any better with the Knicks right now.
Yeah,
I literally sent you that tweet.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. You did
you?
that.
Karl Anthony Towns is allowing opponents to shoot 32 of 35. That's 91.4% in the restricted area.
Boy. And he's got to face Embiid tonight, I think. So, no, I think it's more of an adjustment. I mean, I know Finch, which is unusual for him, singled out Jaden McDaniels just, I think, a week ago or so, saying he's not playing as well defensively.
I think they miss Ant. I think they miss Cat defensively.
I don't know about that. I don't think so. I think they just missed. I think it's just a process right now. Still with.
Remember what he did to Joker? The reason we beat Denver was because his defense on the Joker.
He was very good in the postseason. Yep. Yes,
which is when you really want him.
Well, of course, and I still. I'm anxious
Cat
to see.
won that series for us, and then we decided to trade him.
Well, the one player who's a little worrisome right now with a question mark.
Conley.
Yes. You took the player out of his mouth.
37, 38 years old.
Yeah, I know he's not, and he's admitted his left wrist isn't fine. I think
Said
they're going to
have surgery when he's 50. So.
Yeah. I don't know at what point they're going to try to transition a little bit more into Dillingham. He's young and he's got a lot to learn, but you can learn some of that stuff on the job. Like tonight, for instance, against Portland, I would like to think that the Wolves get another, kind of double-digit lead. That you got to start getting him more playing time to kind of get his feet wet into what is expected of him. You just can't, baby him. I mean, he got drafted for a reason and that high up, and he's got a lot of skill, and he's going to make mistakes. But, yeah, I think, Conley's been hurting. I don't know. He just doesn't look the same. He admits, he says, I feel really good. Maybe he does, but maybe that wrist is bothering him more than he's letting on at the moment.
Your Cleveland Cavaliers have started 12-0.
Right.
They are the 8th team in NBA history to start 12-0. Last time was the 2015-2016 Golden State Warriors. Of those 8 teams, of the previous 7, before that, 5 of them went to the NBA Finals.
Oh.
Do you think the Cavaliers are headed to the NBA Finals?
No.
No?
No, I think Boston will be back. I just think it's...
Tennessee.
Bet.
What's going
on with you?
I like this Cavs team.
There's a lot to like.
And I'm willing to bet you $5.75 that the Cavs win.
Are you kidding me?
You have the Celtics, I get the Cavs. Will you take that bet, or is that a little rich for your blood, Mark?
Man, I'll take it.
Really? Without even thinking about it? You sure that's not a little rich for your blood?
Where'd you go over the 75 cents?
Just because I don't want to go 6. That's a lot of money.
It's a lot. That's extra. It's an extra quarter.
Yep.
An extra $1.
So you're willing, power trip bets? Would you
don't
close
put that out there?
Closed circuits of power trip bets.
Wait. So you're taking Cleveland? It's just Cleveland or Boston?
Is it Cleveland or Boston? If neither gets to the finals, then the bet is a wash.
I don't even want to think about it.
Close circuit to power trip bets. Make sure you document this.
Why do I even?
We just bet $5.75.
I just don't want to.
Tennessee's still waiting for you to bet on the Lions winning the Super Bowl. Or did you just say get to the Super Bowl?
Oh, we already have a Vikings one that's already in motion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was just winning the NFC. No, well, they're not going to. The Vikings, I don't think, are going to win the NFC.
You got very excited about their 2-0, 3-0 start, and you thought they were going to the big game.
Yeah.
Maybe they will.
You just said the Kitties
I know, but I'm saying they'll have a shot. They'll have a shot.
Yeah, they're right there. They're only a game out. Now they
2 games.
Right. Yeah, but that can all even out as long as you keep pace until week 18.
Right.
Then you go to the litter box.
Yeah, that'll be a Saturday or Sunday. That'll be yet to be determined. That could be.
That's a big one.
That'll be a big one. But
will you go to that game if the NFC North is? No. Well, your wife will be there, won't she?
No, she doesn't travel with the team. No, not anymore. No. She will not be going, I don't think.
If the Vikings get to an NFC Championship game on the road, if they went back to the litter box from the NFC Championship, would you go to that game?
I'd love to.
Well, you almost have to.
Fox 9 would probably maybe send me there, so that would be a pregame show there.
And then, if they went to the big game, of course you would go, because you've been 100%. Waiting for that since 1979.
Yeah,
was it 79? 77.
I've never covered the Vikings in the big game.
Nobody
covered
has.
NFC. No, well, I mean,
nobody's covered. Well, I guess they did in 69. You're right. They went to the one and then lost.
Yeah, but I'm saying I covered them in the NFC Championship game.
Yeah.
in Dallas in 73 or 74. I was 19 years old, whatever, but I covered that game. And obviously the home games, but
yeah. But you weren't
New
old,
York.
But you weren't old enough when they lost their first four.
I wasn't. I'm not a question of being old enough. I wasn't assigned. I mean,
right.
R.J. Fritz, Hal Scott covered the Super Bowls.
Right.
I stayed behind.
Yeah. They left you
work.
out.
Left me out, which is just kind of like with you every day, just being out in the cold.
Yeah. It's kind of sad, isn't it?
It really is.
I don't know why you put up with it.
I love it.
Why do you put up with it?
It's a highlight of my day.
It's something to do.
It is. I enjoy it very much.
You're the equivalent of hitting yourself on the side of the head with a hammer.
Pretty much.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow. Only Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday at 2 o'clock. Only Wednesday. He's already counting the days. We'll see you tomorrow. Timmy, thanks for having me.
Hey, great job.
You as well. We enjoyed our visit with you today. We sincerely did. We hope you're back tomorrow at 12 noon. But don't touch that dial. Big Ticket, JG, they're next, right? Here on the Fan.
Good night. Good morning. Good afternoon. And good night, Minnesota. And good night, folks. And good night, Mrs. Calabash. Wherever you are.
I'm a fraud.
Yes.
Listen back to any of Common Man's programs by podcasting on the iHeartRadio app or KFAN.com.